What's up? Welcome to something new just for you. But if you've been following me, if you've been in a lot of the groups that I've been posting in, then you know for a fact I'm true to it. I ain't new to this. It's the real relationship truth. That's what it is now. Because I know y'all remember I used to say the real relationship talk show. I mean, it's still that. It's still that, but I want to switch things up and do it a little different for 2017. I want to switch things up and do it a little different for you guys. How about we do that? So, what am I going to do? I got this new thing that I want to present to you guys. It just so happens that I'm going to debut it on Mother's Day. Okay, salute to all the mothers out there. Much love to you or what have you. But the angle that I'm going to come on at this particular time is going to be from a relationship perspective. So this is my Mother's Day relationship perspective. Believe me, y'all are going to want to hear this. You're going to need to hear it. It is what it is. First of all, for those that don't know, like I said, I've been doing it for a minute. I'm true to it. I ain't new to it. The one and only Kenny Talk. Kenny Talk. That's it. Just like it sound. All one word. Look it up. Look it up. And I'm here today to talk to you guys about what I call the moment of truth, the relationship truth. The moment of truth, the relationship truth. And right? And over the several years that I've been doing this, right, I realized that when it comes to real relationship topics being discussed in an adult fashion, and I would say not just an adult fashion, but a respectable adult fashion, I realized that, we come to blows a lot when we talk about relationships, because we've got to identify two specific sides of the discussion that we're going to be dropping. And that's what the relationship truth is about, because the name of this moment of truth, the relationship truth, it also is about us breaking down what's right and what's real. What's real and what's right. Because what's real to us a lot of times may not be right. But what's right may not be real to us. You know what I'm saying? Each of you are the you're the expert of your own relationship. You're the expert of, your situation, your dating situation, however you want to do it. You are the expert of it. The only thing I do is I just create dialogue around it to pretty much keep people discussing things that, everybody just don't really want to talk about. So what I say is that I say it's time for us to jump in and just kind of drop something on you. Now, the way the show is going to work is still going to be slightly the same, because I am going to touch on what is called a relationship truth. That's what I normally send out every week. I know those that follow me, y'all know what it is. It's just a snapshot, or what I like to call just a snapshot to really create some dialogue around situations and circumstances that we go through in relationships. That's what it's about. And I got my tools and resources up here, so we can have some fun with this, right? I just want to touch on a couple of things real quick from a mother's perspective, right? So I want to salute to all the mothers out there. My mother, happy Mother's Day. Your mother, happy Mother's Day. Grandmothers and everybody that put in the work to raise kids, to raise us, to guide us and keep us on the straight and narrow to where we need to be, right? Every single year we go through the same rigmarole. Guess what? Saying, hey, I want to thank, I'm happy about this with my mother and things of that nature. But I said if I wanted to tackle this from a different perspective, I said I wanted to come in and say, just to kind of talk about how being a mother or becoming a mother changes the dynamic of the relationship that you're in, or the relationship that you're trying to get in, right? That's what I want to talk about real quick. So I got my notes right here. I'm taking notes now, you know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that everybody understand what's right and what's real about becoming a mother in a relationship. And I'm going to move kind of quick. This is not going to be long, because you know what? I'm going to get you back to your busy day or what have you. First and foremost, when you're a young lady that's in a relationship and you decide to become a mother, that aspect kind of brings people together. you know, because you got young parents out there that are doing a great job adjusting and doing whatever they need to do in order to make their relationship work as well as take care of their child. All right. It kind of forces you to make those tough decisions to say, you know what? I got to put my child first. We have to put our child first, right? The relationship also becomes stronger. Now I'm speaking on what's right. These are the topics. Now, what is right? The relationships become stronger because now you got that special part of both of you there to pretty much help guide you, help motivate you, and get the things that you want. You got a child, as a man is gonna go to work, and he might push it even harder. If a woman got a job, she's gonna go to work and push it even harder, right? And it's gonna be about coming together to make the situation better for the child. So that's one way, the right way that a baby changes the dynamic of a relationship, or becoming a mother does. Okay, all right. It makes young couples have to really come up with plans. You got to really kind of plan out how you're going to do things. You got to start really thinking about the future, right? You got to get off that roller coaster that you were on that was all about, you know, me, lust, us, whatever. You got to switch it up. Because if you're going to be a young mother and a young couple that's actually bringing a child in the world, you got to do something different. Hold up. I'm moving kind of quick now. Because we're talking about what's real and what's right. All right. Priorities change for the better. A lot of us find ourselves in situations where we used to be about this, but now we're about that. You know, we're more into the church. We're doing whatever we're trying to do to make this a great nest to raise a child in. And the child motivates that kind of thing. So your priorities slightly change, right? So I want to bring that up. Last but not least, all right, many young mothers, it forces them to make certain adjustments. Many young mothers, when they first give birth or what have you, or they first find out they're pregnant, guess what? You don't be really ready for it. You don't be really ready for it, right? But at the end of the day, guess what you do? You make those adjustments and you make it work. And it's through trial and error. You make mistakes, right? But I wanted to say, from the most part, when becoming a mother in a relationship, how it changes the dynamic, a lot of times it brings the best out of you, right? So I want to salute all of our mothers out there, right? Also, when you become a mother on a dating scene or whatever, it really makes you put in perspective what you're looking for in a mate. Don't. Right? When you sit down across the table at the dinner table, you know, out eating dinner, or you at the bar talking to somebody you just met, or you meet somebody, y'all go out or what have you, on a picnic, wherever. At that particular point, with you discussing each other, you actually have your child in mind, because your child is now part of that relationship. That's a true statement, and that's a beautiful thing. So I want to salute all the mothers that are out there on the dating scene that do take your kids in consideration when it comes to who you're going to date, what you're going to do with this person, how far is it going to go, what planning are you going to do, what expectations you're going to set, all that stuff y'all be doing, right? So salute. That's what I want to say. All right. So now we had a chance to kind of touch on the things, and also salute you guys. We had a chance to kind of touch on some things that change the dynamic of a relationship, or it changed the dynamic of a woman for the most part, and what she looks for in a relationship. Now we're going to talk about what's real. Okay, what's real? We talked about what's right. Now we're going to go to what's real. What's real? It makes young mothers and young fathers have to quickly mature and change things that they may not be ready to change. How many of y'all have saw this happen, right? You get those young couples that are not ready to let go of the things that are important to them in their young life, right? So they do whatever they can to not let go of that. And in the end, what it could do is it actually can impact the child. It can also impact the relationship, because if one see the other one kind of, I'm not going to use the word neglect, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. You won't be giving everything that's needed to the child, right? So that could make one of you guys, of the couple, feel some type of way, right? And you will voice your opinion. And once you start to voice your opinion, what does that look like? How does that person receive it? You know, I know y'all have always heard of, when it comes to the baby mama thing or what have you, from a guy perspective, a guy always says that his baby mom nags. And a lot of times it don't really be nagging. Come on, fellas, keep it real. It don't really be nagging. It be to get you to see things that you either can't see or choose not to see at this particular point because you're blinded by what's important to you at this particular point. If you are blinded by that, then you ain't gonna see it. Then you're not going to see it, right? Okay. From a mother's perspective, it makes you still want to live that life and do those things, right, that are detrimental to being there for the child. And it's also detrimental to you, right? It's detrimental to you, but a lot of times we don't want to accept it. A lot of ladies, they still want to club, they still want to party, they still want to turn up, they still want to do these things, right? And they feel like they can make it work with the help of somebody else, right? And that somebody else a lot of times is your parents or your grandparents that keep the baby, or your uncle or your aunt that look out for while you go do what you do to have fun, to feed your priority or your needs or the things that's important to you, right? And a lot of times you're not in that child's life, right? So that's a dynamic of a relationship that can change because a young lady decides to become a mother, right? All right, moving right along. What does it really look like on the dating scene when you have a toddler, a newborn, or what have you? Because a lot of ladies, they be ready to get back out there once, you know, of course, they be ready to get back out there I'll be ready to get back out there once the baby's born, right? The guy or the baby's father decide, okay, it's not gonna work. Let's just be co-parents, right? And so you still have to fill that void in your life. You still looking for companionship. You still looking for love. And a lot of times that happens so fast. The baby is still a toddler. The baby is still a newborn. So what does it really look like on the dating scene? What does it really look like when you are looking for companionship and love and you have a baby? Okay, keeping it real. Some guys see that as a responsibility that they're not ready to take on at this point, right? And that can make them handle you or feed you with a 10-foot spoon, right? And I know y'all heard that term before. It can make them not really look at being in a relationship with you as serious, right? It can make all those expectations that you're setting around your child pretty much make them turn their focus in other places, on other chicks, right? And that's just what it is. That's a real thing about dating, right? While you got a newborn and while you got a toddler and mingling or what have you, right? Also, what does it look like when it's difficult for you to set something up with somebody you're trying to, date, or you trying to, be their companion or what have you, because of the fact that you got to get somebody to watch the kid, or the kid gets sick, or this comes up with the child and it impacts your availability. And a lot of times when it impacts your availability, it can make the guy kind of look elsewhere. It can make the guy start to drift off, right? And that could be an impact. I mean, is this something that we'll be upset about? I don't know, but it's something that's real, and it's something that we need to take into consideration, right? When you're talking about being a young mother. So that's why I salute y'all young ladies out there that are young mothers that are out there making it work, trying to date. But at the end of the day, we want to do the right thing by the child, right? So happy Mother's Day to you once again. All right. So now we did say priorities must change, but at the end of the day, that's not always a good thing, because that which I know I need to do, guess what? I probably won't want to do it as a youngster. I probably still want to do all the fun stuff. And at the end of the day, I mean, you lose that. It becomes about the child. Okay. All right, let's get back to the point. Many are not ready to make the adjustments, and they don't have to. You know why? Because they got mom and they got grandmother and they got whoever that pretty much pick up the slack while they stay who they are. So you will stay who you are. You will never make the change because you'll never be forced to. And you won't be able to make the leap or change the dynamic that should happen when you become a mother and when you become a responsible adult for another child or what have you, right? So I said all of that. I want to break down the real I wanted to break down what's right. Now, what's right sounds good, and it can be right depending on the person and what you do to make it like that. But what's real, a lot of times, it seems like that's where we kind of revert to, or we kind of drift to, right? On the real side of it. So on the real side, what are you going to do as a young mother on the dating scene? What are you going to step up and change, right? What are you going to push to the side that's not important at this particular point? What are you going to do? All right, I was just outside having a run this morning. I was kind of thinking of this, right? I was thinking about this show. And I said, why not introduce the first relationship truth show or podcast or moment of truth on Mother's Day? Show y'all some love. All right. Now, on every show that I do is I'm going to commit to giving you guys what I like to call the final thought. The final thought, of course, is those that listen to the show, y'all know what it is. It's a little bit of, I like to call, I'm not going to say spoken word, but I am going to say it rhymes a little bit. And this is me, Kenny Talk, of the Kenny Talk Experience, the Relationship Truth Show, what's real and what's right, saluting the mothers. Here we go. Okay. One of the most extraordinary things that a man can ever witness is a woman birthing a child into this world. How she molds the little one, makes this spiritual connection as the first teacher, regardless if it's a boy or a girl. All right. Yeah, we make light of what she goes through, what it takes to be a mom, inconsiderate of how it makes a woman change. She emotionally, spiritually, and physically experiences something new, yet we expect her to still act and feel the same. That don't work like that. Now, when she steps back out on the dating scene looking for love and companionship, after the baby's dad no longer in the picture, many guys see your situation as too much of a responsibility